I guess I'm a little bit torn because I know that having appeared in court and knowing that judges like I do, and even legislators like I do, that none of us would like to see a wounded warrior not have a lawyer in court at the expense of my not getting a raise or a judge not getting a raise. I would not like to see a homeless person who lost his home because of a bank who foreclosed him illegally. And so I guess I believe that, as Diane Savino said, that we surely have to do both. But I certainly wouldn't advocate for taking money away from legal services and putting additional people out on the street. And since we're going to be in Afghanistan for a while, not having legal representation for the veterans of the United States of America. Actually, I wanted to ask you about raise the age of criminal responsibility because the Chief Judge, as you know, has created an adolescent diversion court part in the adult criminal court in 9 counties, dedicated exclusively to handling cases of 16 and 17-year-olds. And since the governor has, again, talked about this in his State of the State and it's in his budget, might you provide us with an update on the status and operation of these new adolescent diversion court parts?
Well, they're continuing. It was a program that was started by the prior Chief Judge, Judge Littman, at the same time that he called for statutory reform, the legislature raising the age of criminal responsibility, which I think, as we all know, we're one of only 2 states in the country that sets the age of criminal responsibility at 16. And so the adolescent diversion court parts were a complement to the legislative proposal. The legislation is the ultimate solution. But in the meantime, these are court parts that were set up. I think we have 11 of them now throughout the state. They have been successful. They're set up in cooperation with the district attorney's offices in those jurisdictions who have been supportive. They're a limited solution to the problem. I think it's fair to describe it that way. They're mostly dealing with misdemeanors. I think a few may deal with a modest number of nonviolent felonies. But they've been certainly successful. We're continuing them. There's been evaluations done, scholarly evaluations of the results of the adolescent diversion parts, and they've been shown to reduce recidivism for the 16 and 17-year-olds participating in the program. So it's been a successful program, but it's somewhat of a limited program, and we feel, and certainly the new Chief Judge feels that way, that the ultimate solution is to statutorily raise the age of criminal responsibility in New York.
Now, both the Assembly and the executive proposals talk about a large amount of cases being shifted from the criminal part to the family court. And since we're talking about the lack of resources for all the court system, I'm wondering if you believe the necessary resources are available to implement.
Yeah, we've taken the position we could accommodate. There would be more cases in family court. So there wouldn't be more cases overall in the court system. There would be a shift of some cases that are now in the criminal courts to the family court. And family court certainly has challenges. I'm not going to suggest otherwise, but family court does have 25 new judges thanks to the support of the legislature. We have 25 additional judges in family court around the state. So the other thing is when Judge Littman...
Has that helped? 25 additional family court judges?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely helps. We were very happy that the legislature approved that 2 years ago. But the number of 16 and 17-year-olds who've been arrested, that number has plummeted over the last half dozen years or so. It's a fraction of what it once was. So there might be a need for some additional resources in family court, but my sense is that it would not be draconian. And so it would be a problem that we would cope with, and if the legislation passed, I think under all the proposals, I know this about the governor's proposal, there would be, the effective date would not be for, a year and a half down the road. So there'd be time to prepare for it. There might be some modest additional expense costs for the court, but we feel, and we've thought about this a great deal over recent years, that we would be able to handle that, and it would be a good problem to have, in other words. We view it that way.
Thank you very much.